Hey everybody, so there are a ton of new releases that have come out recently that I need to make sure are on your TBR. It has been a good reading year. It has been a fantastic year for books, and I have a stack of 8 books that I am sure you're going to want to read. So let's get started. Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. It's Russell with Ink and Paper Blog. How are you all doing today? As always, I hope you're happy, I hope you're healthy, I hope you're safe, and of course I hope you're reading an amazing book or 2 or 3 or 4. It is still warm in Northern California. I am reading, not as much as usual. Work is keeping me very, very busy, but I can't complain. I cannot complain. It has been a good reading year for me. And today I'm here to share with you a stack of amazing new releases that I'm sure you're going to want to read. So, as always, get out your pen, get out your paper, get out your Goodreads, however you keep track of your TBR. If you are so able, please get these books from your local independent bookstore, or if you're a library user, get your copy from them as soon as possible, okay? The first book I want to tell you about is High Time by Hannah Rothschild. This is sort of a continuation of her last novel, House of Trelawney. This is a story of the Trelawney family in continuation. There is a lot going on in this book. There are a lot of characters. You know how I love like a family drama amped up. There is a woman who's sort of how do they describe him? Thuggish banker husband buys her a castle, and she's sort of working on that. We have a countess who still lives in that council, who runs a campy daytime reality TV show, and there is all sorts of stuff going on. This is a family drama, and it's hilarious and all of that at the same time. So that's High Time by Hannah Rothschild. If you haven't read the House of Trelawney, pick that one up and then pick up the sequel, out from Knopf. Okay. Next is a book, I think this book was longlisted for the Women's Prize, The Exhibitionists by Charlotte Mendelson, out from St. Martin's Press. I was reading her blurb before I started this video. Her novel, Almost English, was longlisted for the Booker Prize and the Bailey Women's Prize for Fiction. When We Were Bad was shortlisted for the Orange Prize for Fiction. Daughters of Jerusalem, which won both the Somerset Maugham Award and John Llewellyn Rhys Prize. So she's done very, very well with her books. So Charlotte Mendelson's The Exhibitionist is the story of a family. The father, sort of the patriarch of the family, is a pretty famous artist, who is about to have his first exhibition in some time. He thinks this exhibition is going to be the one that sort of cements his place, okay? So his family comes together for this weekend. He has 3 children. We have his oldest daughter, who is like just his biggest fan. His son, Patrick, who has decided to sort of finally go out on his own. And then the youngest, who has some decisions and things going on in her own life. But we also have his wife, who is an artist in her own right, who has always put that off sort of in the back to be a mother, to be a wife, and is deciding she's going to make some changes with that. But as the weekend goes on, secrets, I think the wife's name is Lucia, is hiding secrets of her own. And as sort of this weekend and the exhibition comes to fruition, things start to come out. So that's The Exhibitionists by Charlotte Mendelson. I am obsessed with this cover, obsessed. And this is out in the US from St. Martin's Press. Okay. Next is a book that this one's a little bit hard for me to describe, to be honest with you, but I am obsessed with the author name, and I think the book sounds really, really interesting. So this is The Daughtership by Boo Trundle. Boo Trundle. Is that not the most fabulous name you've heard? So this is the story of Catherine. Catherine is married and a mom. I love the way the blurb describes her husband as her strapping provider. I think that is fascinating. But Catherine's dealing with some stuff. She's dealing with some dark thoughts and some fears, some like intermittent fears about sexual intimacy. This book is told from the point of view of 3 inner child voices in Catherine's head, Truett, Start, and Schmushbug. And they each have a different sort of way that they believe that Catherine should deal with what's going on. And it says that she's trying to deal with her past. She has a very hopeless mother. She had a very hopeless mother. She had a very seductive, terrifying father. And then other ancestors from her past come forward. I think there's like a Confederate widow to tell start parts of the story, so on and so forth. The book sounds wackadoodle in all of the best ways. So that's The Daughtership by Boo Trundle, out from Pantheon. Obsessed again with that name, Boo Trundle. It is so good. I haven't done a lot of nonfiction on my channel this year, but I am really fascinated by Wifedom, Mrs. Orwell's Invisible Life by Anna Funder. This book was inspired in 2017. Anna was going through some stuff of her own, and she sort of found herself, I think the book says, in peak overload, and she decides to go back and read a lot of George Orwell's work, which she has always found solace in, right? So she reads a bunch of his work, and then she reads a bunch of biographies, and she realizes that George Orwell's wife, Eileen O'Shaughnessy, has sort of been written out of the history book. But we find out she was an author in her own right, and because of some newly discovered letters between Eileen and a friend, Anna is able to piece together the marriage between George and Eileen. And we get Wifedom, Mrs. Orwell's Invisible Life by Anna Funder. I think that sounds really good. You know, I'm obsessed with fiction and nonfiction about authors and their lives. I think it's just my favorite. So, I can't wait. And then we're going to go for a little YA romance. How does that sound? And that's Ghosted by Amanda Quain. And this is out from Wednesday Books. So this book, it's so tongue-in-cheek. I absolutely loved it. Hattie is our main character. She goes to a school that is thought to be haunted called Northanger Abbey. I love it. Her father has recently died. Her father was a ghost hunter and sort of obsessed, but she's decided to walk away from all of that. She has to help take care of her brother. Her mother, who is the headmistress of the school, becomes obsessed with work. And then a boy arrives. And Kit has come because he wants to hunt ghosts. He is obsessed with the idea that the school is haunted. And Haiti and him start to work together. He to prove that it's haunted, she to disprove. And then romance springs up and things happen. So that's Ghosted by Amanda Quain. Doesn't that sound charming? From Wednesday Books. You can get yourself that one as we speak. Okay. This next book, I think I did it in a book haul, but in case you missed it, this is Poland, A Green Land by Aharon Appelfeld. This is out from Schocken Books, and this is translated from the Hebrew by Stuart Schaffman. Okay, so this is the story of Yaakov. He is a shopkeeper in Tel Aviv who surprises his family one day saying that he wants to return to a small town in Poland where his family was from before the war, before World War II. And he wants to go there, and they don't really know why. And he decides to go back to this hometown because of the stories his family used to tell about it before the war. And then it says, when he arrives in Krakow, Yaakov enjoys the charming sidewalks, cafes, and relaxed European atmosphere, so different than the hurly-burly of Tel Aviv. And then it says, but when Yaakov attempts to purchase from the townspeople the desecrated tombstones that had been stolen from Shadowski's plowed-under Jewish cemetery, a very different Poland emerges, one that shatters Yaakov's idyllic view of the town and its people, and casts into sharp relief the tragic reality of Jewish life in Poland, past, present, and future. So that's Poland, A Green Land by Aharon Appelfeld. Again, this is translated from the Hebrew by Stuart Schaffman. I apologize for that. And yeah, you can get this out from Schocken Books as we speak. Okay. Next, we're going to do a little new fantasy series based on Nigerian mythology, which I am, again, obsessed. Some covers today, y'all. And this is Forged by Blood, Book 1 in the Tainted Blood Duology by Ehibgor Okosun, and I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. especially because you look fierce. Her author photo, she is fierce. And I apologize if I said your name wrong. But this is so right up my alley. So thank you, Morrow Books, for sending me a copy of this. But we are in a world where there's this authoritarian regime going on. Our main character just wants her and her mother to survive. Now, she has a history. The new king that's in power is like committing genocide against her people because he does not want their magic to propagate and be part of his new land. It's blood magic, I believe is what it's called. It says, but when Demi, that's our young main character, puts her trust in someone, something terrible happens and her mother's life is lost. And it becomes more of a narrative, less of a narrative of survival and more of a narrative of revenge. And we're going to meet all sorts of characters as our main character learns about who she is and her power, and I am there for it. So this is Forged by Blood by Ehibgor, Okosun, again, out from Harper, Voyager. And why is this? So this was in the book sent for me by the publisher, which is so funny. It's out from Harper Voyager, not from William Morrow, and I apologize. I must have misplaced it in my my moving around. Last but not least is a book out from Redhook. Have you read any Claire North? I've read one book, probably her most famous. I always get the title. The First 15 Lives of Harry August. That's the only one I've read. This is her newest book, House of Odysseus. And this book is the tale of the Odyssey from the point of view of Penelope and the island that she is running, basically, while Odysseus is gone. When it says here, Penelope uses all her cunning to keep peace, but peace is shattered when Orestes, king of Mysia, and his sister Electra appear. Orestes' hands are stained with his mother's blood. If you remember, not so long ago, the son of Agamemnon took Queen Clymestra's life on the Ithaca sands. Now racked with guilt, he is slowly losing his mind. Penelope knows destruction will follow in his wake as surely as the Furies circle him. His uncle Menelaus, the battle-hungry king of Sparta, longs for Orestes' throne, and if he can seize it, no one will be safe from his violent whims. So Penelope, as our main character, is trapped between these two kings, and she's also keeping the peace on her island home while her husband is gone. So that is House of Odysseus by Claire North, and this is out from Redhook Books. So that is too big of a stack for me to hold up again for you. But as always, I hope one or two or maybe all 8 of these wound up on your TBR. As always, I encourage you to read globally, shop locally, and until next time, I wish you happy reading. Bye, everybody.